Tuesday, November 18. It's almost Thanksgiving. How are you doing? Nate McMurray, broadcasting from beautiful Grand Island, New York. An island as big as Manhattan in the middle of the Niagara River, miles from the edge, the maw of Niagara Falls itself. Where 80+% of North America's fresh water flows by every year. Where over 20% of the entire world's fresh water flows. On the Canadian border, on the Niagara frontier. Good evening. All right, listen, lots to talk about here. The Epstein files, the vote happened. It was almost unanimous, which is shocking. It's a shocking defeat for President Trump. And I can't believe this. I'm saying this. It's a huge victory for Marjorie Taylor Greene, or as Trump in his endless creativity of bullying is now calling her Marjorie Traitor Greene. Listen, I think it's important. I'm going to talk about it today. It's important that we talk about everybody that was involved in this, including the Democrats. Yeah. Who wants to live in a country where we have these people hanging out with Epstein, or people like Epstein? And I've seen it firsthand. If you have money, they will, a Democrat, Republican alike, will grovel before you. They will grovel before you. And I've seen it. I've seen it in Western New York politics. You've seen it. If you have money, it doesn't matter. You could be a Trump guy. I've seen it. You've seen it. Some of the people I ran against, right? Full-on Trump lover because they had money. The Democrats locally took their money, stayed quiet. I mean, listen, when I say Democrats, I'm not talking about you or me or some local chair in Wyoming County. I'm talking about the leadership, the people that draw a paycheck from the party. They're not great. But I want to talk about first about the changing economy. I should talk about this every single episode. I'm going to bore you because I'm going to drill this in your head. The biggest change happening to the world right now, well, climate change is happening, nuclear proliferation is happening, all these things are happening. But the biggest change to your pocketbook is going to be artificial intelligence. It's a force multiplier that threatens to wipe out millions of jobs, legal jobs, engineering jobs, all data programming and computer science jobs. It's changing. For decades, every breakthrough, from robotics to the internet, has concentrated wealth at the top, while workers were told to adapt, learn new jobs, work harder. And I think it's backwards. The whole point of technology is supposed to be the opposite: more leisure, more dignity, more time with family. Like, why do you think you have a washing machine, right? It's because you wanted to wash other things? No, it's because you didn't want to waste your time on useless toil. And if you watch the Star Trek movies, I always say, well, what should we do with our lives, Nathan? Look at Star Trek. It's where machines handle the drudgery and human beings focus on creativity, on exploration, and community. That's the economy I'm fighting for, a system where benefits of AI flow to regular people, where the promise of technology doesn't just serve billionaires, where technology lifts everyone up instead of pushing them down, grinding us up, where progress means a better life for everyone, not just a few people, not just unimaginable wealth for a few people. If you just taxed every billionaire's dollars, each of their dollars, a couple cents, you could cover healthcare for every single American. Just a couple cents. I'm not asking for everyone to be exactly the same. Are you stupid, guys? Those who call any type of change for the working class that takes the benefits of technology or efficiency, any change like that, anything like that, you call it communism. Are you stupid? Are you that much of a sap? Are you following that story? This is how this started. There's a guy named Hayek. Okay, he wrote a famous book, The Road to Serfdom. In it, he argued that governments will seek concentrated control and taxation and dominance if not checked. But he also argued that you needed a social safety net to prevent some sort of reverse backlash against order. His belief system was taken by an American guy called Milton Friedman, who was an Economist. Sorry. Hold on. Could you wait 1 second, guys? I'm going to help my little guy, my little cat. And he ran. It was calling me, but as soon as I stood up, it ran away. 1 second. Let me make sure she's okay. Yeah, looks okay to me. So Milton Friedman, right? He was this American guy, and he made this show. I think it was called Free to Choose. It was on PBS. And people like, even the young Arnold Schwarzenegger said it changed his life. And in it, he said, I have a Sharpie here, but he said, I have a pencil. And this pencil was not created because people loved writing or loved you. It was created for a profit. Essentially, that was his argument. And that cold desire for profit is what drives the production of this pencil. That's it. And we should understand that. That was essentially his argument. But it doesn't take into account the fact that rules govern the manufacture of this pencil. And, workers' wages, workers' working conditions. We went through a period in America, the Gilded Age. Gilded means golden on the outside and hollow, pig iron underneath. And in that age, we see the books that came out of that age, The Great Gatsby, Upton Sinclair, The Jungle, Oil, all these books, The Grapes of Wrath, that taught us that exploitation of human beings leads to the degradation of all people. And I think we forgot those lessons. And the reason why we created rules is so that when we make pencils or Sharpies, everyone benefits fairly that deserves to benefit from it, including the workers. And so people are not exploited. Why am I saying all this? Because there's such a huge change coming technologically. I tried to break it down simply in the beginning. Your life is going to change. We need to move to fields that are not going to be the same or that are safe from AI. Let's be honest. Let's make a more human world. New technology should help us explore, build community, create art, spend time with our family. It should not turn us into the slaves of the machines. If you go back and watch, what's his name? Charlie Chaplin's work, where he's mocking the industrialized age where we're all becoming slaves to the machines, that we sit there all day. That's not what human beings are meant to be. We're supposed to be creators, and we're supposed to be literal masters of the universe. Yeah, you heard me right. Masters of our domain. And the way you do this is you give people freedom. You unlock freedom. You give them choice. You give them the dignity of being able to have a family. And we only get one life, guys, one life. It shouldn't be in service of machines or of a cubicle, or it should be in service of our community. And so many of us are completely removed from our communities. So yeah, I'm talking about a new economic model that brings us back closer to the desires and the aims of the human spirit. And if you think I'm crazy, go back, watch those Star Trek episodes. That was the conclusion of Star Trek. Eventually, we will use our technology to elevate all mankind and even beyond mankind, alien kind. So yeah, I want to keep talking about the economy, because no matter what Trump says or what the Epstein files say, it's difficult for most people to send their kids to school. It is difficult. Most Americans don't have health care or decent health care, or they have some sort of catastrophic care. I talk about this. When my child was born in America, it cost me like $60,000. When my second child was born in Korea, it was almost free. And we had a room with flowers in it and these young doctors and nurses that were very attentive and caring. Did they make as much as American doctors? No. But they were very caring and decent and well-trained. After the birth, and I went to the same hospital, Ansan Byungwan, it's called Ansan Byungwan, Ansan Hospital in Seoul. The same hospital many of the most wealthy Koreans go to. And afterwards, we had 2 weeks in a place for the child to bond with his mother. And it was kind of an amazing experience. All the moms were there, and my son Moses was there with his mom, and they ate seaweed soup, and they played together and got massages. That was the Korean healthcare system. And when my son was born in America, I remember the first night I had to bring a blanket. There was no blanket for her, and she was given a hamburger. And I thought, what is wrong with America with all this wealth? We're losing the plot. We're forgetting the point of life. The point of life is family, community, exploration, artistic creation, artistic service to our fellow man. That's the point of life. Creation is the point of life, or human, or the goal that most people want. and to be part of in some way. And we when we deny that or pretend it's not true, we pretend we're automatons. Yeah, it's what the Matrix warned of, the movie The Matrix. We become servants of the Matrix. And that's not what I want. And since the beginning of when I got into politics, I've been arguing, saying we should build a community that, an economy that serves everybody and gives people more freedom. Again, the purpose of your washing machine or your dryer or your dishwashing machine, and these technologies are supposed to free up time for us, not for additional toil, but for freedom. And it seems like we forgot it. We forgot the point. So we need leaders in office that say, yes, healthcare is a human right. Everybody in America should have healthcare. It's the richest country in the world. Just a few pennies off every dollar of every billionaire could pay for healthcare. No one's telling you have to give up everything you own and join a commune. No, we're talking about the same rights and freedoms that they have in Germany, Japan, South Korea, Canada, all these countries. That's number one. Number two, they should be talking about ways to restructure the economy so regular people can have more joy in their life. Yes, joy. The purpose of life is joy. It isn't endless toil. Work is fun when it has a purpose, when it's not just rote and it's not just repetitive and grinding us up. Life is fun. You only get one shot at this. We're going to die. And people will love to do what they love. We need to free up human beings through new technologies, AI, to let them do what they love. And that needs to be talked about more in the public space. And I'm going to keep talking about it. All right, back to the videos now. I hope you can hear this on TikTok. I'm live streaming on TikTok while I do this. I don't know if you can hear it or not, but I'm going to play some video. You're not going to be able to see it because TikTok, I have like 7,000 followers on TikTok, but for some reason they don't give me a streaming key. So I have to use TikTok Live Studio that does not allow me to show you live videos. But here we go. A couple of videos coming your way. If you just wait one moment. There you go. All right, Trump's losing it. I want to show you a video of, you ever seen this movie, Ran, by the famous Japanese director Kurosawa? Look at that. Look at the imagery. Isn't that incredible? It's based after King Lear, where you have the mad king, and his kingdom is burning around him. He's falling apart, and he's more and more increasingly unhinged. It's such great imagery. If you haven't seen Japanese movies from this era, they're amazing. There's so many incredible movies, anti-war movies, but this movie it's pretty long. I'm not gonna lie, but it has some of the greatest visuals ever in film. And every time I see Trump, I think of him as this dotard from this Kurosawa epic, Ran. It's amazing. Look at that. Look at that imagery. And like the troops that are there to kill him, they're just almost, you look at him in shame because he's such a fallen figure. Almost like a ghost, like a supernatural ghost. He's so messed up. All right. Well, let's go to Marjorie Taylor Greene here. Can't believe it, but I'm going to give her all the credit in the world. I think she's doing it for political purposes, but people can have multiple purposes, right? I think she's also driven. She's seen up close who Trump is. I think she's like, I've had enough. I think she smells blood in the water, and she knows he's done, and this is the end of the Trump era. But I also think she's motivated by something deeper. And maybe I'm naive, but I can kind of sense there's some real pathos in her voice, some regret. It is so rare for a politician to say, what I did was wrong. It's against the Trump rules. What's the Trump rules? Always claim victory. Always be in the attack. Never say you're sorry. She did the opposite. She went on CNN this weekend and said, I was wrong. I was part of a culture of toxicity. It should be praised. Whether she has multiple goals or purposes or not, it should be praised. And here she is calling out Trump and the DOJ rather.
Called a traitor by a man that I fought for 6 years for. And I gave him my loyalty for free. I won my first election without his endorsement, beating 8 men in a primary. And I've never owed him anything, but I fought for him for the policies and for America first. And he called me a traitor for standing with these women.
Okay, I'm going to pause it for a second. Part of me thinks, you know, Marjorie, as a guy like me who was personally attacked by Trump and whose family called me a loser and all these things, you know, I'm like, listen, I'm glad you caught up, and now that he's attacking you and it hurts you, you see it. I wish you would have saw it sooner, and I wish so many Americans would have saw it sooner. This guy is insane. He's always been unhinged. He's always been selfish. He's always been bad for the country. But I'm glad you finally see it yourself. And what has he done for America? He's been in office now for 5 years, 4 years previously. Look at the mayhem. Do you have better health care? Is your family better off? Do you feel safer and more secure going to the grocery store? What has Trump done to you? I think eventually all the show business ends and you're going to have to say, what did I do? What did I do with my time in office? He's been in office for a long time combined to this point. He's been part of public life for a long time. What has he really fought for? Even the things he said he fought for, he's not fighting for anymore, like the Epstein files. It's really sad for our country. And when he's going to attack Venezuela? I mean, are you kidding? There's the president of Venezuela singing Imagine. I hope not. I mean, I thought we were against forever wars. We're gonna attack Nigeria. Are you kidding? I mean, when I heard that Nigeria,
I went to the doctors. You know, all they know is some kind of some neurological.
Yeah, I think Trump has some sort of neurological disorder. Let me play a little bit more of this.
And refusing to take my name off the discharge petition. Let me tell you what a traitor is. A traitor is an American that serves foreign countries and themselves. A patriot is an American that serves the United States of America and Americans like the women standing behind me.
Yeah, God bless you, MTG.
And I want to tell you,
I'm glad you flipped.
This only became possible today
I wish you
because
could
the American
pay attention earlier, but
whom we serve as representatives.
This is the key point, guys. If you want change in America, if you want health care, if you want a better life for your family, get out of the tribal politics. It doesn't matter who's right or who's wrong. Vote for your own self-interest. If you think the most important thing to you is attacking trans people or attacking immigrants, that's what you want. Well, that's what you got in Trump. That's what you voted for. But for me, I'm more interested about my family and my life than hating somebody else. Don't take the bait with this race baiting, this hate mongering. You know, Trump is supposed to help make our lives better. That's what he can do. And listen, he's just the president. Yes, he is. But the president sets the agenda for the country. Many presidents have had huge impacts on our country. Look at what LBJ did. Look at what FDR did. We're still living on the benefits of the work they did. And Trump has done what? He's told you that we should deport immigrants. And the reason why he's trying to deport people at Home Depots and at elementary schools is because there isn't that many immigrants at the border or migrants or whatever euphemism you want to use. They're not there. So he has to now, because he wants to jack the numbers up and terrify the country, go into our neighborhoods and scare everybody with masked men pulling guns. Is this what you voted for? Did you vote for a masked men pulling guns in communities? Did you vote for an invasion of Nigeria and Venezuela? Did you vote for a ballroom for Mark Zuckerberg to dance, get his freak on? Is that what you voted for? Here's some dance music for Mark Zuckerberg. Oh, just imagine Zuckerberg on the dance floor. Yikes. All right. Stop it, Mark. All right, moving on here. Just a little more.
In Congress demanded that this vote happen, and they put more pressure on every single elected politician in this city than has ever been put on.
I got to just say right now, because I'm on TikTok Live and I'm on Facebook, I think, it's amazing the technology that I can just use from my little office here and reach so many people. It's such a different world. And it's in some ways that's amazing.
Them. And today you are going to see probably a unanimous vote in the House to release the Epstein files.
Good.
But the real fight will happen after that.
Marjorie, understand this. I understand culturally and maybe emotionally you don't really fit in with some of the Democrats because you're from the South and it's a different vibe. But if you really care about working people like you say you do, you can't be with that party. You know who they hang out with. You know who they serve. And I think there's a movement now in the Democratic Party to retake back the soul of the Democratic Party, to be the party of FDR again, and the party of LBJ again. And I say this to Marjorie and to everybody on the right who thought they were fighting for a guy who was a working class president. You've been duped. And the worst thing to do is double down. So come on over. Help us out. Let's get health care for every single American. Come on. Let's get that done. That's goal number one, health care for every single American right now. As a human right. As part of this privilege of the citizenship of the United States of America.
9/11 families.
All right, moving on.
You are here in the Oval Office.
Trump is get asked about 9/11 families. Okay, fair question, right? Saudi Arabia perpetrated 9/11. All right, and the leadership was never really held accountable for doing anything regarding. You know, they let extremism fester in their society. Bin Laden was a member of the ruling elite in Saudi Arabia. I'm not saying that every Saudi is responsible for the blood of 9/11, but there's been no accountability. We blamed Afghanistan for 9/11. We blamed Iraq for 9/11. Nobody ever even hinted at Saudi Arabia. But so a reporter asked a fair question, and watch what Trump does.
Why should Americans trust
Who are you with?
And the same to you, Mr. President.
Now, who are you with?
I'm with ABC News, sir.
You're with who?
ABC News, sir.
Fake news, ABC fake news, one of the
But the
worst,
question is
one of the
legitimate,
worst
sir.
in the business. But I'll answer your question. He's done a phenomenal job. You're mentioning somebody that was extremely controversial. A lot of people didn't like that gentleman that you're talking about. Whether you like him or didn't like him, things happen. But he knew nothing.
Yeah, things happen. Trump just said things happen. People get chopped up with a bone saw in a consulate. That just happens by accident. And look how smug the Saudi prince looks here.
About it, and we can leave it at that.
About the journalists, it's really painful to hear, anyone that been losing his life for, no real purpose or nothing illegal way, and it's been painful for us in Saudi Arabia. We've did all the right steps of investigation, etc., in Saudi Arabia, and we've improved our system to be sure that nothing happened like that, and it's painful and it's a huge mistake, and we are doing our best that this doesn't happen again.
9/11
okay, so basically nothing to see here, move on. Then Trump went into her and said to this woman who asked the question about Saudi Arabia, he started to say that they should remove the license from ABC News for asking the question. It's insane. But I want to remind you all that free speech in Saudi Arabia is barely existent. There's been some reforms. Yeah, I think this Saudi prince is trying to make some reforms. But the country is not rated free by the Freedom House. There is people that are in jail for random social media posts. It's a very repressive regime. Now, there's a reform called Vision 2030, I think it's called, to try to make Saudi Arabia more free, and I applaud those efforts. But Trump is talking to a prince, okay? How free can the country be? The guy, it's not run by a figurehead royal family. It's run by a ruling elite. Okay, here's Trump also melting down on a plane. He calls a reporter piggy. How charming, right? Here he goes. I mean, again.
I went to the doctors.
He's neurological.
All I know is some kind of.
Yeah, okay, that's not very nice, but there you go. Quiet, piggy. Let me rewind that. What kind of man calls a woman piggy? I mean, seriously. I mean, this is just basic. And I'm not outraged. I'm not shocked. Rather, I am outraged. I'm not shocked. But it's not like. It's just that it makes me sick. Okay, it's just that it's gross. The same way when I would see some slime ball in a bar harass a woman, I'd feel like you're gross. I'm not grabbing my pearls. I'm more want to throw up. I mean, you're gonna call a woman piggy?
Quiet, piggy. Okay.
Wow.
What did Epstein mean in his emails that you said you knew about the girls?
I know nothing about
What did Jeffrey Epstein say when you said in the email you knew about the girls?
Really, what did he mean when he spent all the time with Bill?
I mean, okay, listen. Everyone knows this at this point. You said you were going to release the files. Then you said there was nothing in the files. Then she said there was, even though Pam Bondi said there was thousands of hours of video showing famous people involved in, or maybe not famous people, but other people involved in abusing children. She said something to that effect. I mean, she said there was these videos. Then she said there was nothing. Now he said release the files. It's all over the place. He knows he's guilty. Look at this guy. This is the problem. There's already so much publicly available information about how lecherous he is. When I ran for Congress, remember? I said this guy is a creep, and I said he has connections to Epstein. And what did the Buffalo News say? That I was completely irresponsible for saying that. In fact, the Buffalo News was irresponsible for ignoring the reality. I'm sorry I was on the cutting edge and you made it the bleeding edge, but it should have been common knowledge at that point. The guy was a complete creep. He's had these relationships with these modeling agencies and Miss Teen USA, and there's so much already publicly available. Either you care to see it or you're going to justify it and rationalize it. That's it. I mean, at this point, you are responsible. Hold on a second. All right, next vid.
President Trump apparently saw a clip of the comedian Seth Meyers, who has a show on NBC, and demanded that NBC fire Seth Meyers immediately. Okay, I guess we're all used to this kind of hypersensitive ranting from the president at this point. But what was interesting and notable is that Trump's handpicked, very supportive Federal Communications Commission, or FCC chairman, Brendan Carr, screenshot the post on Truth Social and then posted it on Twitter himself without comment.
So the SEC chairman is calling out basically for the termination of Seth Meyers. I've never been a huge Seth Meyers fan. I think he's better now than he ever was. I think some of his taste and judgment was off when he was on SNL, but whatever. That's just a personal thing. But I think that he is better now than he ever has been. And I'm just thinking it's completely insane that the FEC chairman, I thought you guys were against cancel culture. I know this has been said ad nauseum at this point, but you don't care about principles. You just care about party sides. You're going to take this guy off the air, the FEC chairman. I remember growing up in the 90s and the Howard Stern stuff and like how shocking it was. The FEC wanted to shut him down. Remember that song by Danzig, Mother? I think it was about censorship in America at the time. It was about Tipper Gore. And there was kind of like this bipartisan, puritanical sensibilities. They wanted to get all these people off the air. And it was like, oh my God, 2 Live Crew, what are we going to do? And it was crazy. And then before that, there was the satanic panic in the 80s. And I'm like, I'm even old enough to remember some of that. So we've always had this problem of people trying to censor folks, but never on the basis of political ideology that I can remember. I mean, we had the, you can claim that the universities, and I think there's some truth to it, the universities in America in the last 10 or 15 years became very reluctant to look at different diverse views, conservative views. But now we have had such an overcorrection. I mean, Trump is literally telling his political officials, his government officials, to take people off the air for jokes he doesn't like. Is this America? I mean, listen, if you don't think this is eventually going to come for you and it's eventually going to affect you, then you're just lying to yourself. This is insane. Gonna move on a little bit here. Here's Trump.
Because no matter who you
so this
are,
is what Trump is
everyone-
good at. I'm going to play a couple clips here at the end. He is going crazy about McDonald's, talking about McDonald's and how much he loves Filet-O-Fish. And you're going to say, well, that's stupid. No, it's kind of brilliant. This is the thing he is actually good at, is trying to connect to people and showing that he's just a regular guy and he's funny and he's your goofy grandpa. But he's not your goofy grandpa. He's a guy that hangs out with the Saudi princes and gives them billions of dollars and has his son do contracts with them and takes planes from Qatar. He's the kind of guy that takes money from Mark Zuckerberg to build a ballroom you'll never be able to go to or touch. He's the kind of guy that does crypto scams. He's the kind of guy that hangs out with child molesters and maybe allegedly even was a child molester. He's not like you, okay? I get it. He's talented. He's a talented communicator. He's funny. He's goofy. He's absurd. It's fun to watch. Going to McDonald's and cooking French fries, a brilliant move politically. But it's all a scam. Again, what has he done for you? Did you vote for him to invade Venezuela? Did you do that? Did you vote for him to build a ballroom for Tim Cook of Apple? Did you vote for him to give Elon Musk the authority to cut aid to kids in starving countries that have HIV that saved millions of lives, while giving even more money than we cut to Argentina to compete with our local farmers? Is that what you did? I really dare you to tell me one policy. Don't tell me tariffs. They're cutting tariffs now because food prices are going so high. Tell me one policy that Trump has done that helped you and your family. One. Stopping trans. Have you ever met a trans person? Have you ever met a migrant or someone from another country you didn't like or gave you a problem? Seriously, have you? I haven't. I've never met anybody from another country that was like harassing me or causing problems in America. They're usually the nicest people in the world. Did you ever meet a trans person? Really? You're this obsessed with this issue? You got to be dumb. He just creates boogeymen for you to be scared of so he can rob you. It's literally classic, magician sleight of hand stuff. He tells you, look here, while he's grabbing out of your pocket. I mean, I can't believe people still fall for it. I think it's over, though. This Epstein thing is almost over. But I want to play these clips of the McDonald's stuff because this is him at his best. He did the meeting today with Saudi Arabia because he wants to distract. And he's going to do this McDonald's speech because he's got a natural talent and he's funny. But he's always hustling. He's always working an angle because he knows people are catching on to his con.
Loves something at McDonald's. There's always something to have. I like the fish. I like it. You could do a little bit more tartar sauce, though, please. Seriously.
Oh my gosh.
I hate when I say, do you have any tartar sauce?
All right, here's another thing.
Amazon is doing something I feel everyone should know.
Because no matter who.
Ooh.
President Trump.
There was some more videos. He said that McDonald's is more American than he said McDonald's is more America or more. The Golden Arches are as American as part of our country as the American flag. Listen, I don't got anything against McDonald's. I think the scam he did to go there and cook those fries was a good political move. But again, don't be distracted by his goofiness. This is what he does. He gets on TV and shows that he's a goofy guy. No, this is a guy that hung out with Epstein. This is a guy who's letting his kids make billions, literally billions of dollars with Saudi Arabia. This is a guy who is building a ballroom for the richest Americans. This is a guy who's done nothing on healthcare. I'm going to say this stuff over and over again. What has he done for you? He's told you to hate migrants and send mass men into your neighborhood, violating the Constitution, pulling guns on people, while he got you so angry about trans kids you've never even met or seen before. Chill out. Focus on what actually matters. Your healthcare, your family's education, your freedom, the fact that AI doesn't destroy your life and take your job. Okay? Focus on that. Wake up, America. Wake up. All right, I'm going to end this in a second here, but I got to say, so I put this on social media. I talked about it yesterday, but I'll talk about it again. Seeking your thoughts, thinking out loud. Maybe it's time to run again. I talked about it. There's 240 likes on this Facebook post, which for me is a ton, okay? I got like 16,000 followers, but that's a pretty big hit rate. Everyone here is saying, run, do this, do that, run against Claudia Tenney. Listen, I want to say, I said yesterday, I was very humbled by this, and I am humbled by this, but I'm going to run for something. I mean, some of these comments like literally made me teary-eyed. I don't want to be, I know that our country doesn't exactly praise any type of masculinity that shows vulnerability or gentleness. We did once upon a time. We were a country of Fred Rogers and Jimmy Stewart and people like that. Bob Ross. That was the kind of archetype of males once upon a time in America. But now we all think we need to be little troll-like Joe Rogan. But I think that, if I'm honest, I was moved by this. So I'm considering my political options right now. I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to everybody on TikTok. I can't believe I got all these people on TikTok listening right now. Listen, the technology will get better. I'm waiting for a stream key so I can show you the videos on TikTok. I'm using TikTok Live Studio. For some reason, they're super stingy about these stream keys. But as soon as I get a stream key, I will broadcast live the way I do on Facebook and everywhere else. Sorry, I just read a funny comment. All right, let's play some music. Let's get out of here. Should I play this one? Oh, sure.
And I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I cannot sleep. I cannot dream tonight. I need somebody in no way.
All right, I love you guys. Be good. All right, we'll talk soon. See you later. I'm already a voice inside my head. Miss you.